What's up, everyone? We hope you've been well. Today, we're talking first aid and fire safety. But before we dive into those topics, we wanted to talk about something real quick that we think to be a little ridiculous. This back here is our 2014 Toyota Tacoma named Loki. We bought this truck back in April of 2014, brand new for full price. Between 2014 and 2020, we had slowly been building this truck out to be an off-road vehicle. And in 2020, we started the channel and we started taking Loki's build into more of an overlanding direction. Which brings us to today, November of 2023. Next year, in April of 2024, we'd have owned this truck for 10 years, right? So in 2014, we paid full price, paid it off in 5-6 years, just like most people do. And between 2014 and today, we have just about nearly completed Loki's off-road overland build. 99% of everything that is installed on this truck was financed by us, making Loki easily one of our largest investments. Now, what the point of all of this is what a way to protect that investment by neglecting for nearly 10 years to have ever put on a fire extinguisher or a proper first aid kit. Now, I want to paint the picture. You're out overlanding, you're in a remote destination or location, you're wheeling around, you're having a good time, and your vehicle catches fire. There is a prime example of this happening in this YouTube video up here. It's a popular one. It's a very real risk when taking these customized vehicles out to go camp out of in remote destinations. So today, if we're to accomplish anything with this video, we just want to be the reminder for you today that if you're putting off fire safety and first aid safety like we have been for nearly 10 years, this is your reminder to just go ahead and invest in those. They're very serious, critical pieces of these builds, and they shouldn't be neglected for as long as we have. But today, also, we hope to show you or give you ideas of how you might be able to take care of these with the products that we've purchased for fixing this issue for ourselves, and also showing you how we're going to go about installing these. So let's go ahead and take a look at what it is exactly that we're going to be installing today. Right, so here's what we're installing today. Not one, but two 2.5 pound fire extinguishers. These are from H3R Performance, and they are premium made fire extinguishers intended to be mounted in a vehicle, and they are lifelong products. They are meant to be used and recharged, or if they get to the end of the recommended 6-year period for fire extinguishers, they can be recharged at that time as well, so that they're always under pressure, ready to go to put out whatever fire it is that you have. Now, H3R Performance, they make various size fire extinguishers. These are the 2.5 pound ones, and they make these fire extinguishers in multiple different colors. They do red, black, and then also chrome. They have available a wide variety of mounting solutions for the vehicle. Quick deploying ones, safely securing ones. So we have two fire extinguishers here. And one of them, the red one here, is their Max Out. This is the dry chemical fire extinguisher. This is your everyday fire extinguisher, dry chemical agent. It shoots out a huge plume of dust. It's nasty, it's caustic. but this is very effective at putting out a fire. This is good for, say, wood burnings, oil fires, and electrical. Say your campfire gets out of control out in the middle of the woods. This is the fire extinguisher you want to use. Now, what this is not good for is for engine bay fires. Okay, the dry chemical agent in this is not good for vehicle fires because it's damaging to engine components, damaging to electrical components in the engine bay. This is not good for stuff like that. That's where this one comes in. The Halguard, this has Halitron in it, and this is a clean agent fire extinguisher. Essentially, it shoots out a liquid, a quickly evaporating liquid that leaves no residue behind, but it still removes the oxygen, trying to snuff out the fire that way. Now, if you have an engine fire and you're trying to take care of it with this should always be coming right up behind it in case this is not enough, because this is the more effective means of putting out a fire. You just may be doing some damage also by putting out the fire with this. But at the end of the day, a fire is a fire and it's got to be put out. So we have 5 pounds of fire extinguishing force on the truck from today forward. Now, what's nice about H3R Performance is, like I said, all of the mounting solutions. This one comes with each of the fire extinguishers. It's just a flush mount, so you could put this on a wall. You could just mount this to some piece of plastic in the truck if you wanted to. But so they do come with some sort of mount standard, but we have opted for these collar pull pin mounts. Each of the fire extinguishers are going to get mounted into one of these billet aluminum collars, and this side will get mounted to whatever mounting solution it is that we're putting up. We'll walk you through that later. But what's important about this and why we chose these is we wanted just a quick deploying mounting setup, and we really like that this is easily identifiable to just pull this single pin out and the fire extinguisher releases. So if we have this mounted up somewhere, we can easily just pull the pin, grab it out, and you're off to try to put out whatever fire it is that has come up. So both fire extinguishers are going to get mounted up into this. And then for the Halguard fire extinguisher, because this is typically going to happen while you're sitting in the driver's seat, you're driving around, say you end up having oil leak out in the engine and it catches fire, right? You're probably going to be in the driver's seat when that happens. So we want this readily available, so we've picked up their driver seat mount for the fire extinguishers, fire extinguisher seat mount, so that it's right there at the feet of the driver and easily deployable from the driver's seat. So that's for the Halguard one. The Max Out, where we intend to have that one mounted, is we're also going to be installing today this MOLLE panel in the back of the cab of the truck. It gets mounted up between the 2 passenger handles in the cab of the truck, giving you all of this space for MOLLE panel mounting. So we're going to mount up the fire extinguisher to there. The only thing in the back seat of the truck are our 3 Huskies. They ride around on a goose gear platform. They're low, they're up in the window all of the time, and this is going to be on the ceiling. So we're not going to have passengers and it's not going to be above them, so it's not going to be too much of an annoyance for anybody. But what the other purpose of the MOLLE panel is to be able to mount up our first aid kit. Right, so this is a first aid kit from MyMedic. It is the MyFAK. And we've always had first aid kits with us on our adventures, but they've never really been substantial. They're just little ones that have like Band-Aids and, quick first aid. This is a serious first aid kit that can take care of a wide range of minor injuries to severe injuries. One of the key features is that it comes with a tourniquet, and that is something you should have, especially if you're going to remote locations. Being able to stop the bleeding on a limb or something like that with a tourniquet is proven to save lives and limbs. So this has that in there, and what's nice about the MyMedic kits is that everything is easily identifiable. Tracy works in the healthcare field. She's a lot more familiar with all of this stuff, but for me, if I had to be walked through this, I could easily identify everything needed. I could get to everything. It's all nicely laid out and organized. So it's just a very well thought together first aid kit here. And what is key about this is that it comes with a fast deployment, right? So this is intended to be mounted up on a MOLLE panel. And what's nice about this is you can easily unbuckle this and just rip this thing down off of whatever you have it mounted on from the MOLLE panel, so that you can easily grab this and go handle whatever it is that you need to handle. So that's what all that we are going to be installing today. Let's get started on it.
I decided to start with the fire extinguisher seat mount, and I always like to lay out all the parts and pieces before beginning something like this. The first instruction is to decide whether or not you need to use the small support feet or the large support feet. And this is going to be dependent on how your driver's seat is mounted and how the seat mounts are positioned. After deciding I would need to use the larger feet, the instructions then guided me along to figure out the width of the adjustable mounting plate, as well as how to set up the support arms that make this bracket extremely universal. Now, just a quick note before we begin the next step. We no longer have carpet in our vehicle. The truck has been this way for so long now that I actually cannot remember if having the carpet in your vehicle will make this next process harder. I just wanted to point this out because this next step will likely look different between our installation and an installation found in most other vehicles with carpet. At this point, I have the fire extinguisher bracket fully prepped up, and I now need to loosen the two front mounting bolts of the actual seat. I would then need to place the fire extinguisher bracket support feet under the seat mounts and bolt the whole assembly down. Now, this is where things get tricky, as this bracket is incredibly universal. So much so that it's actually hard to figure out what the best position would be for my application. Once that is found, it's then hard to keep that position while trying to tighten the whole bracket configuration into that position. This led to a lot of fidgeting and trying different orientations and more fidgeting with the bracket. So much so that I actually ran out of battery on the camera.
Okay, so we have successfully mounted up the Halguard fire extinguisher on the seat bracket. The seat bracket does in fact work for the second gen Tacoma. However, the whole thing did not entirely go together exactly as I planned. Let me show you and it'll make a little bit more sense. So this here is the Halguard fire extinguisher and the seat bracket is here. This thing is super fidgety. However, it can basically move just about anywhere you need, and there are tons of options with how much this thing can move around. It just flops around so much, making it difficult to install. So be prepared for a little bit of time with that. Now you can see the seat is in its furthest back position, and this actually now limits how far forward the seat will move until it hits the fire extinguisher. We could have easily shifted this down a little bit lower towards the floor, gotten it further away from the seat. However, that then would have been in some of the feet area here, and I like to have the seat back as far as possible. I do most of the driving, and Tracy doesn't sit much further forward than me, so this seems to be a happy medium for us. Now, you'll notice that the fire extinguisher is not mounted up on the billet bracket like we said we wanted to. This thing would stick way out and would be touching our legs. This is actually just not a good option, and even more so on my part, the bracket lists 3 brackets to use, or the seat bracket lists 3 fire extinguisher brackets to use with this. The standard one, an extreme duty one, and another one that is not that one. This one comes with self-tappers to be mounted onto a flat surface, not to be used on the seat bracket, so that's on me, and I'm glad that it comes with this bracket so that we can at least get it mounted up for now. And in all honesty, this bracket right here is not bad in the first place. I could easily pull that fire extinguisher out with one hand. So the one that comes standard with it is not really a bad option. We may keep it, we may change it out. But for now, the key is that we have a fire extinguisher mounted in on the truck. So let's go ahead and get started on the MOLLE panel so we can get the other fire extinguisher mounted up and the first aid kit. So for the MOLLE panel bracket, we kind of always expected that we would have to do something custom here and that we would have to figure it out. So what I've come up with, because it comes with these 4 self-tappers, however, it doesn't quite line up to any real good spot to hit it straight on the MOLLE panel, and I would prefer to not really drill into this. So what I've come up with is 4 brackets here, or two little bars here to just kind of sandwich. And Tracy and I just got done holding this up and figured that right here in the middle, right on this edge, would be a good location for it. So now we're just gonna get this pre-installed, because I don't want to have to do this while trying to get the MOLLE panel installed. But these self-tappers are just gonna screw right into those bars, and then these bars will, oh, that's tight, just gonna kind of sandwich it into place here. Okay, so we have the billet fire extinguisher bracket mounted up on the MOLLE panel. That is real nice and secure. That's not going anywhere. Now, the billet bracket for the fire extinguisher, it's got a pretty clever design because it's naturally too tight for the fire extinguisher. So they have this center screw to push it open so that you can slide it up. And then once you get it into position, you can back this off. It'll clamp back down on the fire extinguisher, and then you can put a screw here and here and then tighten it down around it so that it is firmly gripping the fire extinguisher. Only thing we have to do is figure out exactly where we want it positioned. So Tracy and I agree that we want the nozzle of the fire extinguisher more towards the back of the truck. So just checking, that'll be towards the back, just like that. And then, I mean, realistically, I don't know if it would really matter, because I think we're just going to kind of center it up. That looks good. We'll make sure that we're just kind of up and down there. And then, like I said, we can loosen this screw out. It's kind of a weird size for these hex heads. Actually had to pull this out of some deep storage of a security bit set. But then we can pull this screw all the way out. And then, there we go. It's nice and firm. Then we'll get it locked into place with the 2 shorter screws. So that was pretty cool. I'm not sure what to do with this screw, but I am pretty sure we don't want to lose that, so we'll have to put that somewhere nice and safe. And then again, this will just go in there like that. It's a pretty tight fit, so it's nice and snug in there. That's not going to rattle out. And then now, when it's sitting in the window, it'll be looking like that. Let's go ahead and start working on the MOLLE panel here. All right, here you go. Got your side. Okay. So, screw into the handle. Oh wow, that's hard to get that. Yeah, you can hard. Did you get them? Yeah, it's hard to get them, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't get it. I need to see better. I think I need a screwdriver.
No, yeah, you gotta. I believe so. All right.
It's like I couldn't even fit my finger in there to finger tighten it.
Well, I've got. Oh no. I got mine started here. I'll hold that for you.
Thanks.
All right. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna come sit in. All right. Oh.
You wanna just do this part, or you're gonna hold it?
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Well, this isn't how I thought this shot was gonna go. This is a little harder than I thought. Okay, got that one. It's still simple enough. You just don't have a lot of purchase on this screw. I'm not getting that. Where is it? Get it? There it is. I got it. Nice. And so with the MOLLE panel installed, we can go ahead and put our fire extinguisher up. But first, I gotta say, I love this MOLLE panel. It's a lot sturdier than I thought it was gonna be. And I like that it keeps the handles. This is from Hook Road, and I think it's just very well done. However, one thing we didn't notice with keeping the handles on this MOLLE panel is that when we were positioning up the fire extinguisher originally, we did not consider how close this pin would be to the handle. So putting the pin in is actually kind of difficult, but with the fire extinguisher up there, you can easily reach up, pull the pin for a fast deployment, and to me, I think that's all that matters. So I can easily ignore the fact that this pin, which isn't going to be coming in and out very often, is just a little difficult to put in. But once that's up, it's nice and secure. That's awesome. We have the second fire extinguisher now fully mounted up on Loki, and we are getting safer by the minute. Next, we have the MyFAK bag to put up on the MOLLE panel. So it just has these two MOLLE straps that are gonna get fed up into some MOLLE paneling. And you just gotta kind of guide them in a little bit. And then they're just gonna get snapped to the back of this Velcro backing. And what that's gonna do is that's gonna make this bag be able to be just pressed on up into the Velcro. This buckle can come around and lock that in nice and cinched down tight. And that's there. It's now a permanent, robust fire or MyFAK first aid kit to be on the truck here. And this is always going to be here ready to go for the adventures. And what's nice about this is that this bag is also deploying. You can easily pull it down. It has this nice strap. You can now take this bag and run off to whatever first aid emergency has occurred, and then can easily just tuck it back and permanently mount and install that back up onto the MOLLE panel. So that's pretty cool, like that. And then also with the MOLLE panel here, we have a few more feet and some more space for other MOLLE panel mountings for anything else that we can think of. So this is just also adding some extra storage space for whatever else we can think of. But this has been way too long of a wait to have this happen. So really happy about that. The only thing left to do is to see what the dogs think about these two things up in their space here. So let's grab them and see how they like it. Come. Up. 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 Come on. Come. Up. 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 Oh, come on, you. Echo, up. Good girl. Well, all right. That is Husky tested and approved. You can see they don't really come up to the stuff up on the Molly panel at all. So that is a good install there. I'm happy about that. They don't even know it's there. But now that we've got them all up in the truck, we're gonna have to go take them for a car ride because that's exactly what they think is gonna happen. Right, I know. So for now, as always, thank you for watching. Do more of what you love, and we hope to see you on the next one. Come on, let's go.
To learn more about us and find out ways to help support the adventures, visit our website, sunshinestatevikings.com. And to keep up with our adventures, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification button and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Sunshine State Vikings.